Recording in progress. So there we go. Continue that. So make sure you've got a couple of cushions handy and come to your mat. And you can pop one of those cushions under your sitting bones, or if you've got a yoga block, you can sit on a yoga block or a bolster, whatever you have that you prefer to sit on. We just want the hips a little bit higher than the knees if we can. Have the legs comfortably crossed, whatever works for you, or if the legs crossed doesn't work, you could always try the legs out in front or for a bit if that felt better for you. And then we're just going to take a moment to settle in, just come down from our day onto our mats and make that transition between whatever's been going on and this hour that you've got just for you. So you can bring your hands onto your body, maybe one hand onto your heart space, one hand onto your baby. And just take a moment to bring your attention inwards. And just start to notice. Just noticing how you feel physically. Noticing any sensations. And try not to attach anything to those sensations. So it's really difficult if you're feeling constant pain or niggling in a certain area to not kind of attach loads of feelings to that. Like, oh, I really wish this would stop. I wish this would go away. I wish this would be different. See if you could just for a few moments, just notice the sensation. And notice the location, notice the feelings. And then once you feel like you've given that enough time, move on. And maybe move on to something that feels good in the body. You shift from a feeling that kind of draws you because it's not great to a feeling that is lovely and comfortable and easy. Even if that's like the middle of your bicep, just feels really good today. Or your feet or the top of your head. And we're just moving our attention around the body and we're not giving any one location too much attention. We're just seeing if we can create a bit of a map in our mind's eye of how everything feels. Try not to change anything just for the moment, just seeing what's there. Notice your breath. Notice your baby. And let your attention settle into the connection between your body and the earth beneath you. So the sitting bones, sides of the legs and the feet. Feeling yourself settle, sink a little deeper into that connection, grounding into the earth. Notice if that changes your breath at all. And then waving a little more lengthened spine. So if you're growing tall through the crown of the head, feel baby or the belly just drawing gently back into the spine, just a little bit, as you grow a little taller through the crown of the head. Drawing the chin down slightly so the back of the neck is nice and long. Soften the shoulders and relax the jaw and see how that changes your breath. See if you can encourage the breath to be a little deeper, a little longer. Start to bring in your golden thread breath on the exhale, so making a little space between your lips. And as you exhale, blowing out a thin stream of air, just like you're flickering a candle flame in front of you. For a steady, slow, smooth breath out. Breathing out all the way and then taking a lovely deep breath. Imagining that breath traveling down and around baby. Let that breath move up into the sides of the ribs as well. And as you breathe out, that little thin stream of air, like you're unspooling a golden thread from between your lips. Nice and steady, nice and slow. Do one more like that. So lovely deep breath. Long, slow, steady exhale. Releasing the hands. We're going to take the hands and place them just behind us onto the fingertips, and then bring the legs forwards and place them flat on the floor. So you want some space between your knees and your feet. Soften the elbows behind you, and we're just going to gently start to rock the knees from side to side. So you might need to adjust how wide or narrow or close or far the legs are to find a comfortable place for you. And there's no need to get the knee all the way down on one side. It can stay up, just whatever feels nice in your body. So just rocking across the feet, moving in the hips, keeping the shoulders nice and soft, keeping the elbows nice and soft, and a little lift through your heart space so you're not collapsing in the back as you do this. Sense of lifting and lengthening up through the center of the chest. And just keep these moving nice and slow with your breath. Easing the hips, easing into the outer legs as well. Okay, well done. And then we'll come back through to center. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together and bring the knees wide. So you don't have to have them super close. You can have a little bit of space between your pelvis and your heels, whatever feels comfortable. Bring your hands somewhere on the legs. We're going to start to circle the torso really carefully, really gently around the legs. So we're moving the pelvis, we're tilting it forwards, rocking to one sitting bone, scooping the pelvis under a little bit, and then rocking to the other sitting bone as you come round. Sit. So you can keep the rest of the body really relaxed and let it just follow along with that movement. You can bring the shoulders in a little bit if that feels nice. Whatever feels good for you. Remember, in pregnancy, your body is very open with all the relaxin in your system. So don't push, push, push. Just go to somewhere that feels nice and comfy in your body. And this will be working on releasing the lower back a little bit, the sides of the legs. Just getting everything moving around the pelvis and the pelvic floor. This is a really nice softening exercise for your pelvic floor. Lovely, well done. Slowing that down, coming to a pause, and then we'll take those circles the other way. Start small in the other direction, nice and small. Using your breath, finding that lovely deep inhale, slow exhale. Good, and then bring that slowly back to the center. Find a pause, sit tall. Length through the crown of the head. Nice, okay. We're going to slide the legs out long, a little bit wider than our hips. Any pelvic girdle pain, keep them a bit narrower. If you feel okay, just go as wide as feels comfortable for you. Then again, lean back on your fingertips, and we're just going to think about the feet for a moment. So start by pushing the heels away, flexing the foot and the toes up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to circle the feet. You can take them outwards or inwards, it doesn't really matter. But see how big you can make that circle. So really drawing a circle in the air with your toes, spreading the toes out wide as you lift them up, pointing them as you circle them forwards. And you can move the legs a little bit as well so they turn in and out. You don't have to keep this just with the feet. Just breathing and being mindful and bringing all of your awareness to this movement. Lovely, and then we'll go the other way. So really nice big circles, stretching the sole of the foot, spreading the toes, warming up the ankles. Good, and then bring that back to the center, push the heel away, point the toes away, press the heel away, Good toes, naughty toes. Point the toes away. And then come up so you're sitting up on top of your sitting bones. We're going to bring the right foot in so the foot comes to the inner thigh and leave the left foot long. So if you want to, you could take that a little bit wider, or you could bring it narrower if the pelvis isn't feeling very stable today. Push the heel away and sit up nice and tall. We'll slide the left hand out to the side and come into a side bend over to the right. Take that arm up and over, but see if you can keep both shoulders just softening away from the ears. Nice deep breaths. Let your head relax over to the side. Really think about breathing into this right side. So breathing into the right lung, spacing out each rib, breathing into the waist and dropping the right sitting bone down into the earth. And then rise all the way up. Place the right hand on the floor just behind your right hip. We're going to reach forwards and then push up onto that right knee. Lift up and back and stretch the hand back behind you to get a lovely stretch through the front body. We don't want to go into a big back bend here. So we're just looking for a lengthening in the side. And then slowly, carefully sitting back down again. We're going to come over to that side bend once again. Nice deep side bend. And if you want to this time, you can turn your gaze and look up and under your right hand. Sitting bones sinking as you reach away. Breathing deep. Coming all the way up. Land the right hand just behind your hip. Pushing into the hand. Lifting the hips and reaching back and away with your arm. And then slowly, carefully sitting back down. Okay, lovely. Let's swap legs. So bringing the left leg in, sending the right leg out long. And left hand, the right hand out to the side and coming over into that side bend. So can you sink the left sitting bone away from you and let your right ear drop a little bit towards the right shoulder, and then breathe some space into this left side. Rising up carefully, slowly, left hand just behind you, pushing into that hand. Lift up your hips, reaching back. And then slowly, carefully sitting back down, coming into that side bend once again. So everything really mindful with your breath. And then slowly rising up, pressing into the hand, hips forwards a little bit, reaching back. And slowly bringing it all the way back down to the floor. Lovely, well done. We're going to bring both legs out in front of us and we're just going to give them a wiggle. So all you're going to do is just flop your knees up and down. Just give your legs a really good wiggle. And we're going to take our two hands like loose little fists, really loose fists, and we're just going to give the leg a bit of a pummel. So start with the thigh, outer thigh, and just lightly kind of tapping inner thigh. Around the knee, so you might need to bend your leg to reach your knee. You might need to send the knee out to the side a little bit. And then down the lower leg, again, you might need to bring that leg in a little bit closer. Try and get the calf muscles, give them a good pummel. And then maybe even the ankle if you can reach it, and the foot, sole of the foot if you can reach it. And all the way back up, give the calf muscle another go. Around the knee, thigh. Maybe even up to the top of the leg, the top of the hip. Okay, and then just when you've done, I know you probably feel a bit hot now, just take a pause and just notice the difference. Any difference. You can move the legs a little bit in and out. You can bend them in, put the soles of the feet together, and just notice if you feel a difference from one side to the other. Maybe that side just feels a little bit more grounded, a little bit more settled, a little bit more released. So let's do the other side. So we'll start with the leg, the top of the thigh, just gentle, and you can do this as fast or slow as you like. So if you feel tired, you can just kind of watch TV and just kind of give your legs a little tap. If you want to sort of get it a bit more welly, you can go a bit faster. And if there's any areas that feel particularly sore, just give those a little bit more attention. Round the knee, down the leg. Try and get all around the leg, calf muscles. And then if you can reach the ankle and the foot. And then work your way back up, giving any area that needs it just that little bit more attention. Maybe the top of the leg, into the buttocks even. Okay, and then just stop when you've done that. And again, you could just kind of see how they feel, turn them in and out. Maybe bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide, have a little fidget. Oh, feels better for me. Really, really does feel different. So see how that is for you. And if that worked, you could use that every day, just end of the day when you're sitting on the sofa or watching telly or in the morning. Okay, lovely. Let's come over to all fours. And let's get moving a little bit more. And moving anything out of the way. Take your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Soften those elbows. Draw baby into spine. Hug them up. Take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, rounding into cat. Tuck the chin to the chest. Push through the hands. Push the ground away. Inhaling through center. Lifting the tail a little bit. Lifting the chest. Don't let the lower back arch right down to the floor. So keep baby hugging to spine. Rounding as you exhale. Pushing the ground away. Inhaling through center, lifting the chest, keeping that belly drawing in and up. Exhaling to round. Inhaling, lifting up into cow. A gentle cow. Exhaling round. Come back through to center. Send your right leg back along the floor behind you. Push the heel away and take a little rock forwards and backwards. So we're just moving the weight forwards. So we're getting a bit of a wrist stretch and backwards, pushing the heel away. Pushing through the foot, through the heel, through the back of the leg. I'm going to turn to face you. A nice stretch in the calf muscles and the sole of the foot. Okay, coming into the center, pick that foot up, pick it up and over so it lands over to the left-hand side. So you've still got it on the floor, but it's just crossing over to the left. And then press the heel away and look over your left shoulder. Good, coming back through center, pick it up. This time we're going to take it all the way out to the right. So place the foot down on your mat. So you can have the toes a bit more diagonal. Sometimes some people find it comfortable to have them forwards, but I like mine a little bit more diagonal. And then again, we're going to rock. So rock forwards and backwards. Pressing your hips to your heels, rocking forward into your hands. Nice and flat through the sole of your foot. And again, just take this as far as feels good in your body. Sorry if you're getting a bit of boob shot in this one. I haven't really thought about my outfit today. Come back to the center, walk your hands in, and we're going to rise up. So just draw baby into spine as you rise up to stand on that left knee. That's it. Right hand down the right leg, and then reach up and over with the left. That's it. Try and pull up on the thigh of this right leg, so keep it nice and active. Stretching over, lovely. Now rise up. See if you can bring the fingertips of your left hand down to the floor. So I find flat hands a bit difficult, but you could have flat hands. But fingertips works better for me, or you could do fists and reach up and overhead with your right arm. That's it, lovely. Now really nice deep breaths. Think about lifting up through that right hip and stretching all the way down that side body. You can let this top arm dangle. Lovely, right. Now we're going to bring this forwards to come back round. So stick your bottom out behind you, bring the hands to the floor and walk the hands back in front of you. Weight into the left hand. Inhale, open up through the right to a lovely twist. Turn your gaze if it's comfortable to look up. If you want to, you can bend that top elbow, wrap it around your lower back and roll the shoulder open. Keep baby drawing into spine, find that rotation in the upper back. And then slowly release, bring the hand back to the floor, step that right knee back in. Okay, we're going to send the left leg out long behind us, toes tucked under, and start to rock. So nice and slow, nice and mindful. We know that all fours is a great position to spend some time in, because it gets baby in a good position. So really, if you can do a little bit on all fours every day, especially in the third trimester, it's a really good idea. And you can do anything at all that you like. A bit of rocking, moving the hips, cat-cow, anything like this. Okay, come back to center. Lifting up that leg and taking it all the way across to the right, toes tucked under, heel pushing away, and look over your right shoulder towards the foot. Baby drawing into spine, nice and long in the left side. Bring it back through center and all the way out to the side. Good. Walking the hands in, hug baby to spine as you rise up to stand on your right knee. Left hand down the leg and right arm up and over. Again, think about this leg being nice and active, just hugging the inner thigh, the top of the thigh. So you're not kind of really dumping your weight over, but you're supporting through the legs. Nice breaths as you reach away, stretching into that side waist. Lovely. Coming up when you're ready, and then right fingertips, right fist, right hand to the floor, left arm up and over. And then dangle the arm, press the hip up. Nice deep breaths. And then sending your bottom back, bring your hand around and forwards, come forwards, hands underneath the shoulders. A little rock here, hips towards the heels and then hips forwards. Listen to your body. You want a nice sensation that feels comfortable in the body, but we're not looking for stretch or intense feelings of stretch. And come back to the center, that right hand grounding down, that left hand reaching up and open into that twist. If you like to, you can bend the elbow, back of the hand to the waist, back of the waist, and just use that to help rotate the shoulder a little bit more. And then unwind, come all the way back to the front. Step that left knee in, take your knees wide apart, sink the hips back to the heels, come into child's pose. So if you want to use some supports, if you've got a bolster or a couple of cushions, you can bring them in under your chest. Especially if bump's getting bigger, you might need more cushions. And then calm and rest, put your head to one side. If you need a little bit of movement here, start with a little sway. So just moving your hips from one side to the other, almost like you're sort of nestling yourself back towards your sitting bones. Nice deep breaths. As you exhale, see if you can drop a little bit more of your weight down into the earth and settle and sink and rest. Really lovely full deep breaths, focusing on your breath, focusing on your body, settling, sinking in. And bringing everything back to the center when you're ready. Take your time to walk your hands in towards you. Remove any props. And bring yourself back onto all fours. Okay. We're going to come up into downward dog. Don't have to stay in downward dog. You can walk straight up and into forward fold with your elbows on your knees if that feels better. But if you like downward dog and you feel all right, we're having a couple of breaths in downward dog. So we're going to bend the knees, lift them up off the floor, keep them bent as you lift your hips. And then if you're coming up straight away, walk your hands in, bring your elbows just above your knees and just come to this halfway point. If you're in downward dog, and just walk out through those legs a few times. So bend one knee, straighten the other leg and press the heels away and walk through the feet, walk through the back of the calves. Just really feel that lengthening in the body. And if you like, you can try taking the feet a bit wider and see how that feels as well. That might give you a slightly different stretch, slightly different feeling. Probably that's enough with your head down. So when you're ready, walk your hands into your feet, prop up onto your elbows, and bring your palms together in this little forward fold. If you're happy to hang over your legs, you can. So if you feel good with your head down, you could just hang for a moment, just breathe. Otherwise, halfway place here. Just take a couple of breaths. Nice deep breaths. And then we're going to draw a baby to spine, round the back, hands to the legs, and walk yourself all the way up to stand at the back of your mat. Just give yourself a moment to adjust here. And let's roll the shoulders up, back and down a couple of times. Nice big circles. Full breath in, full breath out, really moving them around. And let them settle so that you feel like the shoulder blades are magnetically drawing towards one another at the back. And allow your palms to spin forwards by rotating the upper arm bones a little bit in their sockets. Rather than just spinning the palms, we want to get that feeling from the upper arms. Grow a little taller through the crown of your head. Find that lovely long mountain pose. Maybe take a pause here. You could gaze straight ahead or close your eyes. And just take that moment to notice. So notice how you feel. Notice how your legs feel. Notice how your back feels. Notice how your breath is right now. Let the eyes flicker open. And we're going to take our right foot and step it forwards into kind of short warrior pose. So we're going to actually do triangle first, Trikonasana. So if your pelvis doesn't feel great, try moving your right foot back a bit so you've got a wider stride. And you can go from anywhere from the center of your back foot for your front heel to lining up your back, your heels. So it's a bit wider, that might feel better. Just see where you feel most comfortable and not too wide. Okay, hands on your hips for a moment. Think about activating your leg muscles, so drawing up your thighs and having a micro bend in your knees, especially this right leg. Just a micro bend, so it's not locking back into the joint. Reach the arms up shoulder height. Take an inhale, look to the right. As you exhale, lean forwards and then lower your left hand. Now, if you're quite big, you might want to come a bit higher. Otherwise, you might want to come a little lower down. Just see how you feel. If this top arm is too much, bring it to the hip. So sometimes it's like, oh, I'm so tired, just holding my arm up in the air is hard work. Bring it to your hip. Think about rotating the chest, maybe turning the gaze up towards the ceiling, and just wherever you're comfortable here, pause and breathe. So again, you can come a bit higher, bring your hand above the knee, you can bring the top hand to the hip, or you can come a bit lower and look up. Really nice deep breaths. And then turn your head down to the floor. Bend your right knee to come all the way up, and we'll come into warrior two. So bending that right knee a little bit more. Go a little longer if you want, but not too long. Breathing deep. Looking to the middle finger of that right hand. Think about spreading your feet into the mat. And then once again, lean forwards a little bit. Bring that right elbow on top of the right thigh. and the left arm up and over by your ear, or again onto the hip. Rotate the chest again, looking up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breaths. Looking down to the floor, pressing into that right foot to rise back up and straighten the right leg. Good. We're going to shuffle ourselves to face the other way. So carefully wiggling the feet around until your left foot points to the short edge of your mat. The legs are straight, but we want that micro bend in the knee. So hug the thighs and take the front knee off lock. Reach the arms out long. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale forwards and into Trikonasana. Nice and gentle. Nice deep breaths. Again, top hand can come onto the hip. But see if you can roll that top shoulder back and open. Think about turning the chest. Don't forget to breathe. And look down to the floor. Bend your left knee to come up into Warrior Two. Looking towards the middle finger of the left hand. Think about pressing through the front knee, through the outside edge of the back foot. Good. Leaning forwards a little bit, elbow to thigh, and right arm can come up and over or onto the hip. And again, turning the chest, looking up. And gaze down to the floor, push into that left foot, rise all the way up. Okay, then we're going to shuffle just the right foot around so that both feet, both toes face the long edge of your mat, parallel facing forwards. Hands onto your hips. Think about baby drawing into spine, roll the shoulders back, take an inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees and carefully come forward. So you might not want to come super duper far. So you might think, well, that's enough. Maybe see if you can bring your hands down to the floor. If they don't reach, wiggle your feet just a little bit wider. So there's no need to put your head down, but if you wanted to, you could lower your head towards the floor. Have a little bend in the knees. Just see how that feels in the legs. If you don't want to put the head down, just keep it lifted. And keep your gaze towards the floor. There's one more breath. And bending your knees, hug baby to spine, bring your hands back to your hips and straighten the legs as you rise all the way up. Lovely, well done. So we're going to slowly, carefully heel toe the feet a bit closer together before we step together. Well done. Release the hands. Okay, let's go to our wall or sort of somewhere with a safely closed door. And we'll just do a little bit at the wall. So if you come and face your wall, bring your right hand a little bit higher than your right shoulder, bring your weight into your right foot, and just take your time. See if you can hold on to the left foot in the left hand. Line up your knees. Think about scooping your tail a little bit here. So you get that feeling as you draw the pelvis under, that the front of the thigh is getting a bit more of a stretch. And this might be enough, so you could just stay there. It's a little dancer's pose kind of variation. If you wanted to go a little bit further, you could start to kick back into that back hand and lean a little bit into the wall. And we're not looking for super deep, we're not looking to win any prizes. Try and keep your knees parallel. So don't let that right knee open out to the side. Keep that right knee facing forwards. Breathing deep. And then gently come up. Take your time to swap sides. And bringing your weight into the other leg. Taking your time to find your balance on that foot. Lining up your knees, drawing the tail underneath. Using the opposite hand on the wall. And again, this might be enough. I mean, this feels like a stretch for me in my thigh. You know, I feel good in this stretch. I could stay here. If you felt like you wanted to take it into a bit more of a dancer's kind of balance, kick back into the hand, lift the chest, just come a little bit forwards. And it's all about how you feel, and you might feel different on different days. So Don't expect too much and don't worry either. Okay, slowly coming up. Yeah, then we're just going to give the legs a bit of a shake. Give them a little bit of a shake. Okay. Let the flesh be wobbly. Okay. And then we're going to come into a lunge. So you're going to step the right foot back and the left foot forwards. Put your hands flat on the wall. I haven't really got a wall here, but on whatever's in front of you. And press into the back heel as you lunge a little deeper. And you can push through the hands to lift your chest away from the wall and lengthen up through the crown of your head as well. Can I have a handy drink? Coming up, so I'm going to come up, step that foot back in and step the other foot back behind you. Come into a lunge on the other side. Nice deep breaths. And coming all the way up, and we're going to walk back with both feet, bringing our chest down, so we're in a bit of an L shape. So we don't want to hang down too far in the middle. We want to kind of keep our ears in between our shoulders. A little bend in the knees. It's a bit like a downward dog, but at the wall. You probably feel a nice shoulder stretch, and you probably feel it in the back of the legs. You can bend those knees as much as you need to. You can even sway a little bit from side to side. And then pressing into the wall, come up, and we're going to walk into the wall. Turn to face the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go over here because this is a better wall to do it on. So we're going to place our right hand against the wall, or whichever hand against the wall, about shoulder height. Cross your left leg up and over your right. Make sure you're far enough away that this elbow is a little bit bent, but not too bent. So you just want a tiny bend in that elbow. Then take your left arm up and over into a side bend. Squeeze your inner thighs and think about pressing this hip out to the side a little bit. Breathe there. So really nice support from the wall. You can look up and under that top arm or just look straight forwards. And then rise all the way up. We'll just take that one more time. So inhale up, exhale over. And then all the way back up. I'm going to turn around to face the other side. So just swivel about. Crossing the right leg, or in my case, the right leg, up and over the left. So whichever leg is on the out non-wall side, up and over that leg. Little bend in the elbow, and then inhale up and exhale over. Breathing there. Squeeze the thighs together. Then inhaling all the way up. Exhale the hand down. And then one more. Rising up. Well done. Turn to face your wall. Walk a bit closer. Bring your forearms to the wall. So we're just going to rest our head on our forearms. So you want to get nice and close. Let your feet come a little bit wider. So just a bit wider than hip distance. And then you can either just stay there or you can bring a little sway. Bend those knees or a little circle of your pelvis. This can feel really nice on the low back. So if you're doing the circling, see if you can think about really scooping the tailbone under as you bring it forwards and then sending it out behind you as you take it backwards. A little sway is fine as well, or even just stillness and pause and breathe. And then we'll reverse directions if you're circling. Make sure we do a few in the other direction as well. And then slow that down, bring it back into the center. Just have a pause, maybe take a breath here. And when you're ready, lift your head, bring your hands away from the wall. We're going to come back to the back of our mats, wherever they may be. Feet a little wider than hip distance, spread out through the toes. Bring your hands to your heart center, thumbs to sternum, and roll the shoulders back. Feel like you're growing nice and tall through the crown of your head. Find your breath. On your next inhale, circling the arms overhead. Nice big breath, circling up, reaching up, lifting the toes. Exhaling, we're going to bend the knees, bring the hands all the way down through center. Walk the hands forwards onto the mat and lower your knees down. See if you can bring them down together. We're going to come over onto one hip. Bring the feet around in front of us. If you need to use a cushion or anything to sit on, you can bring something in if that feels more comfortable under your sitting bones. Okay, let's have the legs out long. We're going to bring the right leg in and then see if you can pick it up and bring the ankle onto the top of the left thigh, just above the knee. And that might feel like a stretch, and that might be enough. You can bring the hands down to the sides to help support you to sit tall. If you'd like to go a little further, if you want to feel a bit more stretch, you can slide that left foot in a little bit, coming into a seated pigeon. Try to keep the heel of the right foot pushing away and the toes curling back towards the knee. Again, soften the elbows at the back here. And I really like a little sway, a little bit of movement here. Just rocking across the foot. You can bring that foot in as far as your bump and your legs allow, but it doesn't really matter. You'll probably still feel this wherever you are. A little movement if it feels good, or just stay still. Okay, good. Come back to stillness. We're going to slide the left leg out long again. We're stepping the right leg all the way over. So you might need to keep that foot quite far forwards. If bump is in the way, this right foot might need to come further forwards. We're going to bring our right hand onto the right knee. Circle the left hand up and over. And as it reaches your ear, let it turn your chest into a twist. So we're looking to the left. Nice open twist. So grow through the spine, rotate through the heart space. Nice deep breaths. And then slowly release, come all the way back to the center. Take that right leg out long. Going to bring that left leg in. See if we can bring the ankle on top of the thigh and the left knee out to the side. So you can stay here, use your hands, your fingertips to help you sit tall, or you can lean back a bit to bring the right foot flat to the floor. Now I really feel a difference from side to side, and that's not uncommon. So please don't feel because I did something on one side, I had to do it on the other. You can just see what works for your body. And if a little bit of movement feels nice, you can bring just a gentle rock, gentle sway in. Try to keep your chest lifted, your shoulders soft. Okay, slow that down, come back to the center. Slide the right leg out long, that left leg stepping up and over wherever feels best for you. Bringing the left hand to the left knee, circling the right arm up, turning the chest into a twist. Nice deep breaths. gazing around behind you. And then slowly release, come all the way around to the front. Releasing that left foot, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Maybe bring the heels a little bit closer this time to see how you feel. And see how that feels as well. Does that feel different now from how it did earlier? Is it nice and tall? Close the eyes. You can have the hands on the legs, anywhere that feels comfortable. Just notice your breath. Think about the knees being heavy, but also evenly dropping out to the side. Think about the soles of the feet pressing lightly together. Keep growing up nice and tall. Okay, so you can open your eyes. I'm going to show you how to get into legs up the wall pose. This is a really great pose if your legs are feeling tired and swollen. You've got a lot of fluid build up in your legs. But like I said, not everybody feels comfortable lying down like this. So just let me show you and then see how you feel. So I'm probably going to try and use 2 pillows, but I'm only going to go in with 1. So I'm going to put one up against the wall where I'm going to go, the other one close by. I'm going to shuffle in sideways like a crab, nice and close to the wall. Then swivel around, swiveling legs up the wall, and you want your bottom on your cushion. So ideally you want your hips to be a little bit higher because you don't want to be too flat in pregnancy for too long. We're not going to be here very long, but yeah. So what you could do if you wanted to, flat feet to the wall, push into the wall to lift the hips and slide another pillow or cushion in and see how that feels. So you've got that nice lift, and you can always kind of use your elbows to get you in a bit closer. You don't have to be right next to the wall, whatever feels nice for you. So try it, see how it feels. It might feel great, it might not feel great. If it doesn't feel great, then I'm going to show you what to do in a sec. You're going to come out of this one and just see how you feel for a moment. And you can bring your hands onto your bump, you can bring them down by your sides, whatever works. So an alternative, you're going to come out slowly, so just rolling over to one side, pushing your hands into the floor. Alternative, you could do child's pose, or you could come into your side lying shavasana on your left hand side. So you want to have something in between your knees and something under your head. It doesn't really matter, either one, child's pose or side lying shavasana, if you don't want to go up the wall with your legs. Could be up a chair as well, or up on the bed. It doesn't have to be a wall. So it's just that lift under your pelvis and legs up the wall for a few breaths, or come into another resting pose that feels comfortable for you. The nice thing about having the legs elevated is that it really helps with the lymphatic drainage from the legs, and also the venous return to the heart. And any fluid buildup in the legs, it's really going to help to drain that away. And just see if you can settle wherever you've chosen to be, just settling in. Allowing everything to feel a little bit heavier, a little bit more grounded with every exhale. And notice your inhale, and as you exhale, just feeling everything softening, releasing, letting go. We're just going to take a short meditation. This meditation is focused on a visualization of healing and renewal. And if you've got your legs up the wall, the image is of a waterfall flowing down the wall and through your legs and body, kind of washing you clean. If you've chosen another position, You can still have that image of the water flowing through your body. It doesn't really matter whether it flows from the crown of your head to your feet or your feet to your crown of your head. So you pick a direction, it doesn't matter. Wherever it flows, I want you to imagine the water is flowing. It's flowing down to the soles of your feet or to the crown of your head. And it's actually flowing into your body. And this water is a beautifully clear, clean, rejuvenating flow of water. And it's washing through the body. And everywhere it goes, it's removing any blockages, any tightness, any toxins, any negative feelings, and it's taking them away with that flow of water, leaving everything behind it crystal clear, sparkling, clean, fresh, and new. It's like a magical ray just sweeping through the body. So you can imagine that water flowing. As it flows, it's gathering up any knots, any tensions, any tightness, sweeping it away as it washes through the body. And depending on which way you're imagining the water flowing, when it reaches the other end of the body, so when it reaches the crown of the head or the fingertips, or it reaches down into the feet, you can just imagine it flowing out. So it's a constant stream of beautifully crystal clear, healing water. And it goes right down into every cell and rejuvenates and renews every part that it touches. Just imagining that water, warm, clean water, flowing through, releasing and relaxing the muscles, helping the flow of fluids flowing through the blood vessels and the lymph channels, flowing into your baby, flowing into the fluid around your baby, really leaving it sparkling, crystal clear and healthy, flowing into your baby, and washing them this beautiful, clean, energetic, fresh water. Flowing out through your body. Take a couple more breaths with that image. And if your legs are up the wall, you're going to slowly come out. You're going to bring your knees towards you. Walking your feet down the wall, and obviously you need to take your knees a little wider. Rolling over onto one side when you're ready. And maybe roll onto the left side and just stay on the left side, and we'll just do a few minutes on the left. If you're in child's pose and you want to come out, come into your left side, go ahead. And we'll just pause there for a few more breaths in stillness. Noticing your breath just flowing in and flowing out now. Just like the waves on the shore, ebbing and flowing. Allow that to be subtle and slow and steady. And gradually bringing your awareness back into the room. Any sounds you can hear. Any smells, sensations on your skin. Gradually bringing a little movement back. If you haven't moved for a while, just starting with fingers and toes, maybe moving the muscles of the face. When you're ready to come up, we're going to come up nice and slowly, using your hands to help you come all the way up to a comfortable seat. We'll bring one hand to our hearts and one hand to our baby. Close your eyes. And just take the last few moments to notice any positive shift that you experience. Any easing, releasing, any better breath, emotional shift that you may experience. Just bringing it to mind and letting it integrate into your system. Knowing that you can carry anything with you, any positive thoughts, any positive changes, carrying them with you into your week. Then bringing your palms together at your heart center, close your eyes, bow your head for a moment, just in honor of this practice and this time that you've given yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. I'll just stop the recording now. Oh, not with that button, I won't.